We're taking up the homework questions here. The first homework question was to solve this system using the method of substitution that we learned on Friday. So our first step for solving was to label our equations, so equation 1 and equation 2, and then state what we're going to do. So both of these equations are already solved for y. So y is equal to 2x minus 4. I can take the 2x minus 4, and since that's what y is equal to, I can replace the y in the second equation with this expression. So that's our first step. We will sub equation 1 into equation number 2. So when we do, we get a 2x minus 4 is equal to 3x minus 6. Now it becomes a solving equations question like we had done before. We could get our x's on one side by taking this 3x that's on the right side and subtracting it. And then that will get rid of the x's on that right side. The 3x take away 3x gets rid of that. And what we're left on the right side of that equal sign is a minus 6. And what we have on the left side is our 2x minus the 3x, which would be minus 1x. And then we still have a take away 4 with it. The next thing we need to do is undo this minus 4. So BEDMAS says we have to solve in the reverse order of BEDMAS. So say I'm Deb, I get rid of the subtracting 4 by adding 4 to both sides. So I'm going to add 4 to this side, but if I do that, I also have to add 4 to the other side of the equation to keep it balanced. Now by doing that, that's going to undo this piece and leave us with a negative x being equal to, and then I can collect these little terms here, a negative 6, add 4 would be negative 2. At this point, we still need to get x by itself. We currently have a minus 1x. To undo the multiplying by minus 1, we're going to divide both sides by minus 1, or negative 1. That leaves us with a positive 1x, or just x, on the left side of the equal sign. And on the right side of the equal sign, we now have positive 2. Since negative 2 divided by negative 1 will be a positive number, 2 divided by 1 is positive 2. This gives us the x-coordinate for the point of intersection. At this point, we're going to take that value of x and we're going to substitute that value, so x equals 2, back into one of our two equations. And I'm just going to put that into equation number 1. The equation number 1 is y equals 2x take away 4. So where we have the x, we're going to replace it with the value of 2. So we have y equals 2. Now normally it's times x, so we're going to times by positive 2 because the x value was positive 2. And we still have a take away 4. At this point, we're going to calculate what y is equal to. 2 times 2 is 4. So we follow BEDMAS in its proper order. 2 times 2 is 4. Minus 4. 4 minus 4 equals 0. So therefore, our solution, or point of intersection, is, and we write it in ordered pair form, x comes before y in the alphabet, so 2 comes before the 0 in our solution. If you had trouble with this, try question B, which was y equals, so B was y equals 7x take away 2, and y equals negative x plus 6. Try it on your own, following the steps that I did with this video, and see if you can work through it. And if not, I put this on pause to try it first. And if you get stuck, or when you're finished and want to check, then put the video back on play and see how you did. Okay, so our second example, part B, was y equals 7x take away 2, and y equals negative x plus 6. If we were to do our process as we did with the first, we label our equations with 1 and 2, and then we take and say that we're substituting equation number 1 into equation number 2. It won't always work out this way, and you'll see that in our lesson today as we move into the more difficult questions. Okay, so we have a statement of 7x take away 2 is equal to negative x plus 6. Our next step is to get the x's together on the same side. So on the right side of the equation, I have a minus x. So to undo that, I'm going to add x to both sides. And when I do that, I have 7x's plus 1 more x. That totals up to be 8x's. I still have a subtract 2, the equal sign. The minus x and the plus x cancel each other out, or undo each other, and we're left with positive 6 on the right side of the equal sign. At this point, we have two things keeping x from being all by itself. We have the 8, which is multiplying x, and then we have a subtract 2. When we're solving, we do bedmiss in the reverse order. So we're going to undo the subtract 2 by adding 2. We're going to do this to both sides to keep it balanced. And now what we're left with are 8x's being equal to 8. These canceled out. And then at this point, we have to undo the multiply x by 8 by dividing both sides by 8. And on the right side, we have 8 divided by 8, which is a 1. On the left side, 8x's divided by 8 leaves us with just x. So now we have the x-coordinate of the intersection point. We are going to sub x equals 1 into one of our two equations. And I'll just put it into equation number 1. We have y equals 7 times x minus 2, and we're going to replace that x with a 1 in brackets because the 7x means 7 times the x value. And at this point, 7 times 1 is 7, so 7 take away 2 is 5. So therefore, our solution is the ordered pair 1, 5. X comes before y.